Hey, so it's time for our full moon update for April. So we start off April strong with a full moon in Libra right on April 1st, which I think is super cool. I personally have very strong Libra energy. I'm a Libra rising at 29 degrees, which is a critical degree, and it's conjunct my Pluto at 29 degrees. So this is energy that I know very well and live with a lot. So I'm half excited, half apprehensive about this full moon because it is going to be a big one and I feel like it might be an emotional one, but for good reason and to bring forward stuff that we really need to look at. So let's get into it. Um, l- I'm dubbing this moon the mirror moon. Like I know traditionally it's called the pink moon, but the energy that I'm getting from it is very mirror like energy. So Libra is a mirror sign. Libras tend to mirror their outside world. That word is really hard to say over and over again. Mirror. So they reflect the outside world. So usually Libras come off as very charismatic and social because they are kind of reflecting the person that they're speaking to. They're very, they meld very well into situations and other people's personalities. And that's the reason that Libras come off that way a lot. But when we talk about Libra energy, it often reflects the energy of the other two, the energy of the relationship. So traditionally, Libra is in the seventh house, which is the house of relationships. So when we're talking Libra energy, it's how we honor ourselves in relationships and also how we reflect energy in our relationships. Libra is also ruled by Venus, so the planet of love and beauty and finances, even. So a lot of that energy comes into the Libra transits as well. We also have Venus just moved into Taurus, which is the ruler of Libra. I know this is a lot of technical stuff, but it's little details like this that really kind of put the map of energy together for what's happening. So Venus is in a really good place for this. It's not in detriment, it's not fighting. So the ruler of Libra is very steady and stable. So that's why I think that this full moon is going to be very beneficial, but it might just show us some hard truths. That's the phrase that keeps coming into my head. We're going to see some hard truths, and then we're going to have to come to terms with our own emotions, our own energy, and how our outer world is reflective of our inner world. So if you've heard the term as within, so without, that's that Libra energy. So what's happening within us is being reflected out and reflected back, mirror energy. So the hard pill to swallow is when you're seeing the outer world as being chaos or a dumpster fire or just negative all around. It's often, like I said, a hard pill to swallow, a reflection of our inner world, how we're feeding ourselves, what we're saying to ourselves, how we're feeling about ourselves. That's often what's reflected out, if you understand what I'm saying. So in the chart, I wish I printed it out, but I didn't. So in the chart of the full moon that's happening, we have the moon in Libra on one side by itself. And then across the way over here, we have a stacked Aries and Pisces house right across from this moon. So we got this little moon. Our emotions is what the moon represents all by itself over here. And I just see that chaos of planets stacked against it. So we have all of this stuff happening in the outside world, and our emotions are what's going to anchor and balance the energy for us during whatever's happening. So Aries is very strong fire energy. We have a lot of Aries activations happening again mid-month. So this is the final, I feel like, emotional tweak that we need before we hit that really fiery energy as the planets start moving back into Aries. So my advice right now is to really look at your emotional space. Look at what triggers are popping up for you, what truths are coming to light about you and about others, and really be honest with yourself and with your energy. Where do you need to realign your energy? Where do you need to rebalance your emotions? Where are you taking on too much? And where are you feeding into the chaos, both within yourself and within the environment around you? Because this is personal opinion, that the more we feed the chaotic energy, the more the chaotic energy multiplies. So the more that we can learn how to balance ourselves and radiate that energy, the less we feed the chaos and the disgruntledness and the sadness and the angriness. It's okay to have those emotions. It's okay to feel them, process them, and then move on. Or if you can't, set it down and don't live in it. Revisit if you have to later. But living in that and projecting that out all the time, that's all you're going to see back. It's the mirror energy. And I feel like I said, this energy this week is going to, I'm getting chills, really let us know where we need to come into alignment and where we might be creating the chaos ourselves. Like I said, which is going to be hard. I've already seen some of that for myself, and it's not comfortable. Not at all. But we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with our part in our energetic environment and then how we can realign and rebalance it going forward. So, under this new moon in Libra, or full moon, I'm sorry, under this full moon in Libra, full moons are about illuminations. Like I said, we're going to see some things coming to light, but it's also about release on the other side of it. So after the first, we start releasing the things that are causing the chaos, the things within us as well. I do feel like this is going to be a lot about internal work and internal mindset stuff, things that we have to revisit for our own energy and how we handle energy, how we speak to ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. Because, like I said, we're going to have a lot of emotions going on. So, a lot of this is going to be about feelings, what's in our heart spaces. Do we carry a lot of hate or grief or sadness in our heart area? Do we need to clear some of that out? Do we need to work on healing and shedding some of that to move forward? Which, again, is not comfortable, not easy, but well worth it, especially when we get into this fire energy. I've talked about it a little bit in the 2026 astrological overview. The planets are starting to click from the earth water axis into that fire air axis. We're just seeing a taste of it right now. And this isn't to scare you because, like I said, I think it's going to be magical and bring some changes that we need personally and collectively. But the key is to be in alignment with our truth selves, with our authentic selves before we kind of hit that really fiery energy. Trying to think if if there was anything else I wanted to say about the full moon. Libra is an air sign, so speaking is really good. Speaking affirmations, speaking what you want to release. Even Libra is the sign about relationships. So speaking up in your relationships, if you need more support, if you need to shed something, if you need to let things go, try and take a minute and not be reactive of it because we still have a lot of that Aries energy happening on the other side of the chart. So try to think before you speak when you do, but definitely get it off your chest. Speak it if you need to speak it, or just speak it to the universe, to whoever's listening, your guides, your angels. Just get it out. Writing can also be good, but I really feel like for some reason the throat is coming in for this one, I think because we just had that Mercury retrograde. And that reminded me, I was going to do a throat clearing, but I kept getting the kind of like the message that we didn't need it just yet. I think it's still coming, but there was something in the energy during the Mercury retrograde that it did not want to happen then. So, which is very interesting. I just try and follow intuitively what comes up. And then I had some throat stuff happening. We had a sickness go through my house, so I'm like, I'm just going to leave it. But so I'm wondering if some throat work needs to happen there. I'll see if that wants to come through then, but definitely speak, get it out. Seeing if there's anything else intuitively that wants to come through, and I don't think so. I think that's the main information I wanted to get out there. Mirror energy, be aware of what you're seeing collectively around you, what you're seeing in your environment, what's triggering you, and what's making you angry. Because, like I said, we're going to have that Aries energy. So I feel like some of this is going to be anger. When I talk about emotion, we automatically think like watery emotions, crying, that kind of thing. But this very well could be anger emotions. So, what's angering you, and what can you change on your internal with your internal energy to work on some of that triggers, to work on diluting, or not diluting, that's not the word. Work on processing some of the anger so that you can use it effectively. I like that better. Uh, yeah, so I think that's it. So, full moon, Libra, April 1st. I'm going to be putting up the card spread like usual, and then I'll do a collective card reading with it too. We are going to be continuing our astrology series inside the Heartfire Collective next week, which I believe that we are going to be talking about the moon, which is um, one of my favorite placements to talk about because I feel like the moon placement unlocks a lot of stuff for people. So, super excited about that. We're going to be, like I said, returning to that next week. And if you have any questions, let me know if you're feeling some kind of energy and want to share. Feel free in the comments. I would love to hear it. And I hope everybody has a magical week.